I like I was like I didn't like it, but I saw it. I had no control over it. It just happened. Yeah.
Got flashed.
Oh man. I like how you dressed up for this.
Yeah. Well, it's good for camera. Right?
What's your shirt say?
It's. Says,
Hey everybody, welcome back to Meet the Devs. I'm James Pugh, and with me today is principalship artist Chris Smith. Chris, how you doing, man?
Good. How are you?
Good. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
So I don't think the fans know anything about you. They've never seen you before. So why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Well, I'm Chris Smith. I'm principalship artist now.
See, it's not easy to get this stuff out, is it, dude?
Well, once you move on up, Can't always remember those old titles. I've been here with CIG since the beginning. I guess I'm employee number 14 or something like that. I've been doing all the ships, not all of them, but a lot of them. Most of the ships you guys fly around, 300i, Hornet, Mustang, M50, Constellation coming up. All the variances for the Hornet. All the variances, well, not all the variances, some of the variances for the Mustang. And so, just been working here doing ships for Chris and having fun.
Now you're just getting braggy.
Well, that's what you gotta be, when you're doing ships for Chris.
So how did you get started?
Have some confidence.
Seriously.
Yeah.
So how did you get started at CIG?
Well, I got started actually shortly after a big layoff with our previous company. It's called Lightbox, and
you worked on Starhawk?
I worked on Starhawk.
I did QA for Starhawk over at Sony.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. Well, you know Harvard then very well.
Yes.
Well, yeah. So I did actually all the vehicles for Starhawk, the mech, the flying thing, the transformer, the jet bike, and all that stuff.
That was the best part of Starhawk.
Thank you. But yeah, so I did all those. So I was sort of like a vehicle guy at that moment, and then during that, actually, while I was working at Lightbox, I saw the first trailer for Star Citizen. That came out then in October or August or something, and I was just like blown away by it. Actually, we had just finished Starhawk, and we were starting a new project, which actually was a space game. And so then when I saw this trailer, I was like, whoa, it's like, that'd be cool to work on.
Yeah.
I saw the big Bengal carrier and all that stuff, so that blew me away. And then, our company unfortunately folded then, and then a few months later, Eric Peterson gave me a call, asked me if I wanted to model some ships for Starhawk, and I was like,
Star Citizen.
It's too many stars.
We're not cutting that out, by the way.
We don't cut anything out.
Yeah, that's fine.
So,
Star Citizen, yeah. So anyway, I was like, well, hell yeah.
So how'd you get into games to begin with?
Well, I just in 2004 I got into the game industry, and just straight out of school. I was already sort of like an artist, did all kinds of stuff. Fine art, freelance art, nothing with computers though at all. It's just mostly like illustrative stuff, graffiti jobs, tattooing, whatever came by, and then I was like, well, I need something more steady, I think, and so the whole computer 3D modeling thing. I was like, I'll try that out. I went to school, went to Art Institute for 2 years, and the rest is history, I guess.
Yeah, was that a hard transition? Because you said you've always been an artist. Was it hard to go from being able to express it easily to having to use different systems like a computer to do so?
No, not really. Actually, it was sort of. I guess if you start out as an artist, that's probably a little bit easier, because then you're just essentially learning a tool that you use to create the art that you like doing. I used to do a lot more sort of character work, just off the wall kind of stuff like that. And then once I started in the game industry, though, it was, the first thing I did was an environment artist, right? Just anything generic. And actually, my first gig was Duke Nukem in Dallas at 3D Realms, and then I sort of just evolved into doing some spaceships for them and doing some vehicles for that and I mean, me personally, I've always been a gearhead too. Besides just being an artist, I like working on cars, and I like watching racing and all that stuff. So it kind of lend itself to that and my style and everything. So it just kind of evolved into that. Now I'm just sort of purely hard surface modeler for the game industry.
What's your favorite thing you've worked on in Star Citizen so far? What you've had a hand in?
The M50 was fun because I got to redesign that one a little bit. The Mustang was awesome because that went pretty quickly and easily. Constellation is really fun so far because I got to work on the interior and sort of redesign the interior a little bit, and then I mean, all of the latest ships. I mean, the 300i was fun, of course. That was my first ship that I did, but there was a lot of mistakes that I sort of made on growing pains, I guess you can call those. But I would say probably the Mustang or M50 so far. Constellation now though is pretty awesome so far, working on that one.
Awesome, man. What was it like being on TNGS?
Well, TNGS was pretty awesome actually. That was definitely a different experience. I mean, compared to any other game company, where you're very secretive and you don't really talk to the people at all. Like, this company has been the exact opposite of that. Since the very first interviews we had in Austin with Sandy and all that, and Eric Peterson, it's always been a lot different in that way. And then when we started that, it was just getting to know the fans physically, and hanging out with them and talking to them was just a cool thing, because I mean they. First of all, they're all, well, if they like your stuff, it's always cool. But, they get excited about it, and you can see that, and that in turn always amps me up. I'm like, oh man, I want to create some really cool stuff for you guys, and it's a good motivator. But the show was fun. It was just fun to do, and getting to see all that talent that just came in, which was pretty amazing and unexpected actually. And well, we hired a couple of those guys.
Right.
Actually, we got some employees out of that whole gig, so that was cool.
It was brilliant. We got to make a cool little show. It was a nice little competition, and we saw a lot of really good talent.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, we should do another one. If anything, now the next one would be better because we have our ducks a little bit more in a row now, and in the pipeline, I think it would go a lot smoother.
If we did another one, would you be back as a guest judge, rather?
Well, yeah, if I'm asked to, of course.
Awesome. So we're gonna let you go, but before we have 3 rapid fire questions. You ready?
Wrap it up.
God. Favorite movie?
Favorite movie? Aliens 2.
Okay, never seen it.
Aliens.
Never seen it. Favorite video game?
Starhawk. No, Star Citizen, of course.
You can say something else. You don't have to say the 2 games we know you worked on.
Favorite video game?
Yeah, come on.
Oh, God, I have to think about that. Actually, okay, The Last of Us was awesome.
Yes, Last of Us is great. And favorite ship in Star Citizen?
Constellation, of course.
You're a homer, man.
Well, hey, man, what am I gonna do?
All right, man. Well, thanks so much for coming on. It's a pleasure having you.
All right.
Once again,
Pleasure.
This is Chris Smith, and I'm James Pugh, and you just met a dev. Keep holding it.